you very much for your wonderful words. In order for a program like this to be successful, it's the hard work of a lot of people and the contributions of a lot of organizations. I would like to recognize some of those people. To our donors and sponsors, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora of Kosovo, the German Agency for International Development, GERMIN, the Swiss Cooperation Office, USAID Kosovo, USAID Private Sector-Led Workforce Development Activity, Caritas Switzerland, Kosovo Civil Society Foundation, IPCO Foundation, our Diaspora organizations, Global Albanians Foundation, Albanian Diaspora Business Chamber, Urakult, Pro Integra, Union of Albanian German Businesses, the Albanian Diaspora Business Network of European branches, and the municipalities of Pristina, Prizren, Ferizaj, Gjilan, Suhareka, Kamenica, Pudujeva, and I am shocked that we don't have Gjilan here because they're always reminding us of how hard they worked, and so we'll recognize them anyway. I also want to recognize the hard work that our staff put in here. And they are Sihan Beitullah, one of the trustees which you already met, Abner Nieku, Donika Gashi, Blerta Mejwani, Berina Ukshini, Era Ahmeti, Leonard Hamza, Donieta Eleza Krasnici, Naim Robeli, Shpat Pelizi, Barda Uka, Genitina Lejebi, Arta Berisha, Erzamieku, Fortesa Basha, Deona Camberai, Hamdie Fazliu. Your work is greatly appreciated. Madam President, it feels wonderful to be able to say Madam President. Madam President, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming here. Many of you traveled a long distance to be here. I'm humbled to be in your presence, and I'm grateful that you're here. My message really begins a number of years ago. We had a fundraiser for Mitch McConnell, who was a member of the Republican Party in the United States and one of the most powerful men in Washington, D.C. And at the fundraiser, he looked at us and he said, you know, in my world, Kosovo's independence is an absolute miracle. He said, for many years, we fought for your rights, but we never were sure that you were going to get the independence. But you got your independence, and you should keep that in mind as you develop your country. But the cost was significant. We have to remember that 12,000 people lost their lives. Over 20,000, mostly women and men, were abused, and 65% of the country was demolished. And yet, today, by virtue of every metric, Kosovo is the most democratic country in the region, and you should all be very proud of that. The diaspora, a vast majority were actually born here. So when we see ourselves as diaspora, we don't really see ourselves living as foreigners, but really we live abroad, but we're always paying attention, and our hearts and minds are always here. Today, a vast majority of those people are extremely successful in IT, security, politics, art and culture, athletics. We have Olympic gold medal champions, and of course, they happen to be all women. Most of the successful people who leave Kosovo tend to be women, and we should also recognize that fact as well. We as Albanians must also see ourselves in a much larger context. Today, Albania and Kosovo are two countries that are led by Albanians. Macedonia and Montenegro, it's the Albanian vote that decides the winners and decides which direction the country is headed. But that also brings a great deal of responsibility. It brings a responsibility to not only to the region, but also to Europe. We have to take on that responsibility. What is our obligation to that? GERMIN is deeply committed to bringing together Albanians worldwide to build a better future. We seek to bring together the best and the brightest to offer ideas and solutions. And as we mentioned on the television show, it's important to remember that some of the most talented and gifted people, Albanians, are in Albania and in Kosovo, and there are you here, and all we can do is try and help you. I think when we come here, we will learn a lot more than we teach, so we are grateful to be able to be a part of the development of the country. And so I thank you for that. Now, in closing, yesterday was a very special day for our most honored guest. Yesterday was the birthday of our honored president, and so I think it would be wonderful if we can all sing her a happy birthday, but in Albanian. And so here we are.